And see, this is where you say, when I say different things and I reach, we be going deep. So I'm gonna share something else with y'all. Racism, yeah, it exists. But racism is so sophisticated. It's on a whole nother level. It's not like whatever. What you see is immature, hate. You cannot, racism is not to the point that they hate you or dislike you. Racism is set up to control, control their country. You understand what I'm saying? It don't have nothing to do with you personally. It's just that that's the way it is. I'm just acknowledging what it is. And the reason why I'm saying it is because I didn't had, you know, interaction with those people on that level. And if it was such racism in the way that we say it, you know what I mean? And I say racism. When I call it when I see it, right? When it's racism, but it's not racism like a tag, like a hate, not like how you talking. Like when you're going deep, it's more about the money and controlling the industry. So, and the reason why I say that because a lot of these people that I know personally don't even know that when I was gone far away, way back in the woods, man, and I was around them. A lot of these guys were around for years, right? And some of them thought I was crazy because I didn't mess with a lot of people, but they never knew why. Because I never told them a lot of things. And this is the point that I'm saying, that in things like this, if it was racism, I wouldn't have knew a lot of stuff that I knew that was right there. They wouldn't have told. They wouldn't have said nothing to me. And sometimes they said things right in front of the people, but they didn't know. Let me give you an example. One time, man, a long time ago, I'm talking about 50 years ago probably, right? And I'm a young guy, right? So I had somebody close to me, man, to bring me some marijuana, right? This is back then, marijuana, right? Young kid, right? And I was out in the fields. I had to wear one out in the fields. We ain't supposed to have them. It was illegal in the fields. And I rolled in weed. I'm young, so we way out in the fields. And we smoking weed, getting high, talking crap and whatever. And because we planting like 2 blocks long, man, everything, corn, tomatoes, all that, man. It was a hell of a thing, landscaping, right? So a couple of guys had walked off the field, to go use the washroom, whatever they had to go do. It's vague, but I'm breaking up to a couple of things. I say things for a reason. So anyway, I just kept doing what I was doing, but I'm high as hell now, right? But I kept doing what I was doing. I'm the only one there too, by the way, because everybody had kind of gradually, I guess we was getting ready to go in. I can't remember why, but I was the only one there. But this guy in uniform came out, old guy, right? White guy. And he told me, he said, man, he said, you can't trust any of these people, Because see, not only that, we used to always talk about street stuff. See, but like I say, I was back then like that James Cagney stuff. We was all criminals, so we all was doing the same thing. So it wasn't nothing to talk about. We just talked about something that we did. So he said to me, he said, you can't trust none of these people. I'm just kept doing, I'm looking at, I'm paying attention, but he kept talking. Then he said this to me. He said, you don't know none of these guys. He said, these guys, he said, most of these guys, and so on. He named 5 of them. And he said, how they got there from somewhere else. And I'm talking about major cases, that was on the news, whatever. But I'm not gonna go into details. That most of them deceased now anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I'm saying that it didn't play into me until later that what he was trying to tell me is that them guys just walked off the field and told him that I had the weed. Why would he come out to me, single me out, and come straight to me and just start talking? So why would he say that to me? I'm a whatever, and he's somebody else, and he's saying don't trust him. He told you, yes, he still don't trust nobody. And maybe because a lot of stuff I should talk about. So I said, who is this guy? Because he could have just walked me out, locked me up, but he didn't. I never understood that, man. But as time was going on, I started thinking about that. I say, you know what? If he was racist, he wouldn't have did that. So I'm gonna tell you something else. Because like I say, later on, the guys used to think I was crazy, right? Because I never told people what I'm saying now, right? So I think I told my mother one time later. I told her a few things like that, So, but anyway, so this was later on in the years now, right? We talking about in the 90s, maybe the 80s or something. And the guys think I was crazy because I ain't messing with nobody, man. Nothing talking, but what I mean, I holler because I knew him from the street or whatever, but things just weren't right. So one day, I was at the salad bar. Now listen to this here. The whole place is full, right? At tables, all the tables full. We talking about maybe 200 people. And so around the salad bar, you had uniform and you had ranks. The hierarchs up to the bottom. From the major to the officer. You had like maybe 5 officers. You had the major, captain, sergeant, lieutenant, just around there. And they just standing there talking. So listen to this here. So the tables was full. So I'm standing there. Now listen, this was strange too, because I was the only one there. This would made them start talking when they caught me there by myself. But my back is turned. They behind my back, and they just surrounded me, right? Not surrounding me, but they're just around the back of me. And so they was talking, some they were talking, and they was using words like rabbits, coons, not racist. There wasn't no racist thing. They was just describing something. They like rabbits, coons, skunks, whatever. And they was saying that my rabbit never miss. If my rabbit runs so-and-so, so they was describing who they had, you know what I'm saying? And they was going, this is how they talk. I don't know, miss. But then the thing they said that they got me, it was a whole lot of stuff, man, they were saying. Just in that time, they was saying some stuff. So my back was, I never turned around. But the people that's out there never knew what they were saying, never knew what they had said. Nobody. I never said anything. So in this part that got me, though, the guy said, and I turned around, when he said this part, I turned around to see which one was talking. It was amazing. All of them was looking dead at me. I'm looking at them because I went on the other side of the salad bar. Now I'm facing them. I'm just looking at them. And they looked at me, and they said, but before I turned and went on the other side, this is what the major said. He said, if it's 3 at the table, 1 is working for us. If it's 4 at the table, somebody is lying. If it's 2 at the table, somebody on their way. In other words, if it's 2 at the table, somebody's getting ready to sit down. If it's 3 at the table, it's somebody working for us. If it's 4 at the table, somebody's lying. So that means because there's only 4 seats at the table, right? So I'm saying, damn. And from then on, I had started paying attention to how it was arranged. That they had it arranged like that the way the seats feel, they had to feel just like how they had it organized. It was sophisticated. And I stopped paying attention because I thought about what they said. It's something no one would ever pay attention to because the dominance of the population. How could you control something like that? See, if they control it because they know who was there and they know who coming out and who going where. That was very, 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 very strange. Once again, racism is not like what you think it is, man. And the stuff that I'm telling you now is what's going on now. It's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not just on the inside, it's on the outside too, even more so on the outside. So at some point, it becomes a hate, a deeply rooted hate. And this is the time I tell you have to be careful. When you start to get up and take care of your business, and I don't mean like Cadillacs or Bentleys, the kind of stuff. I'm just talking about standing stability on your feet, period. It becomes hate because people be behind the scenes. Your problems and everything you're going through is going through because people are lying on you. And they're lying on you. They're saying things according to what they think. That's not what they know. They just assume. And so they're lying. That's where there's no evidence. Long as you out the way, as long as you ain't around a lot of people, you're in different places, people can't say anything bad about you. You can't assume anything because you can't. You have to be somewhere. You have to be around people. That's the evidence right there, at least to get it started. But if you ain't never around anybody, you're never going anywhere, man, it's hard to say that somebody's doing something wrong. You gotta go somewhere. You gotta do it somewhere.